dating app that's going up, so-called, making the most of them over the pandemic to try and catch us out. So £34.5 million has been stolen by fraudsters over the past year. And the scams, as Dan was saying, can be really convincing. So Millie Clark received what she thought was an email from her phone company asking her to update her payment details. Then a few days later, the scammers called back claiming to be her bank. This time, they got her login security code and they used all of her information to clean out her accounts. Millie lost thousands of pounds.
I just wasn't on the ball because, my business had just shut because of the pandemic. So I'm self-employed, I've got no income. The last thing I need is my bills to not be going through. I don't trust anyone now. They still try and ring me, even now, because I guess once they've got your details, then they'll keep trying. The impact it had on my mental health, I didn't get out of bed for about a week. I just couldn't. I could not face it. I just slept my way through it because it was the only time that I wasn't awake and just panicking. My biggest fear being on this conversation now is, people are going to think I'm stupid. But actually, do you know what? If I can raise awareness to just one more person doesn't make the same mistake, then that's a good thing to do, I think.
Yes, Millie shows it could happen to anyone. And thankfully, Millie did manage to get her money back. But as the pandemic leaves more people alone, at home, feeling vulnerable, others haven't been so fortunate. Police have had to take down several websites selling counterfeit testing kits and masks. One man was even charged with administering a fake vaccine. And online shopping has been a particular target, with fraud rising by 42% since the first lockdown. That is at an all-time high now. Perhaps you've been tricked by a dating app that's going up, so-called romance fraud, where victims are conned out of money by people pretending to want a relationship. That's gone up by 20%. What to do, though, if you fall victim? Well, Samantha Cooper is a private investigator. She's made it her mission to tackle dating scams.
People who are victims, they lose their confidence, they lose their ability to make sound judgments, and they wonder how they've got into that situation. They become very embarrassed. And unfortunately, perception to people that have been victims of romance fraud is very unfair. And they tend to say things like, they must be stupid. And it's really not the case at all. These scammers are very, very sophisticated. And, they use really strong manipulation techniques in order to con people. If somebody is coming on too strong, too quickly, then that would be a warning sign. If they're trying to draw you away from the dating app chat to chat on a separate platform, that would also raise alarm bells.
Do get in touch this morning if you've been affected, because we know the numbers have been going up, and we will be answering some of your questions at the end of the programme with an expert. And I tell you what, even though you might feel humiliated if it's happened to you, it will be easy for that to happen. It's really important that it's reported, because this 35 million that's been taken, that's only accounts for those who've reported it. So we think that might be the tip of the iceberg. 150 arrests were made last year related to this sort of fraud as well. So it is well worth reporting it, and it helps the experts build up a better picture of how people are taking advantage